Alright, so UFC 291 is in about 2-ish weeks now, and it is one of the best cards in recent time. Definitely the best card this year, probably the best card in the last 2 years. But I'm going to be going over my pick and who I think is going to win some of these fights. I'm going to be starting at Derek Lewis because I don't know enough about these guys down here. But I do hope CJ wins this one because I remember watching his one fight. He fought this like guy who looked like Charles Oliveira. I didn't know who he was at the time, and he was losing the whole fight, and he made a crazy comeback and won that one. So I hope he wins. Alright, so first up on who I'm predicting is Derek Lewis versus Marcos Rogrio de Lima. um, if I'm gonna be honest, I have never heard of him. So I'm gonna have to go with Derek Lewis. Don't know enough about the other guy, even though he is the favorite. God, my allergies. If I sound a bit stuffed up, it's because I got allergies right now. But anyways, I think Derek Lewis gonna add another knockout to his record, even though he is an underdog. But I don't know enough about the other guys, so I'm gonna obviously have to go with Derek Lewis. I love Derek Lewis. Everybody loves Derek Lewis. So yeah, Derek Lewis. Alright, next up we got Stephen Thompson versus Michael Pereira. I actually really enjoy watching both of these guys. Stephen Thompson, one of my favorite fighters. Um, Super nice guy. Then Michael Pereira is super entertaining, super flashy, does a bunch of weird 360 kicks, jumps off the cage, but he also gasses himself out when he does that. And Wonderboy does a lot of flashy kicks, but he's more consistent and more skilled. So, based off of Wonderboy's last performance against Kevin Holland, I'm gonna have to go with Wonderboy. I think he'll get a decision win, but I could see him getting a knockout. Okay, next up is Michael Chisa, or I think that's how you pronounce it, versus Kevin Holland. And I think this is actually going to be a very good fight. Both guys are all around solid fighters. I like Kevin Holland more, I would say. I mean, look at the odds. It's pretty close. Kevin Holland's a minus 145 favorite, but he's not like a big favorite. But I think Michael can put up a good fight, but I got Kevin Holland winning by knockout. I'm not sure why. I just think he's more skilled, and honestly, I hope he wins more. Alright, next up, Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. This is an interesting fight because Bobby Green is a great fighter. Right now, like his whole career, he's never been like a contender, but he's also never been bad. Tony Ferguson, on the other hand, used to be one of the best lightweights in the world, or probably the second best at one point, and obviously he's nowhere near where he was. And as much as I love Tony Ferguson, I mean, I'm not like even a huge Tony Ferguson fan. It's just everybody likes Tony Ferguson. You can't not like him. But I don't see him getting it done. And I hope if he does win, I hope he retires. I hope he goes out on top against Bobby Green, because he can win this fight. It's definitely not out of the equation, but he definitely can win this fight. Alright, next up is Paulo Costa versus Ikram. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the rest of it. I probably didn't even pronounce that right. But he's an big prospect, the up and coming fighter. But as of recent news, this got canceled. I'm not really sure why. I've just seen a couple things saying it's got canceled, but I'm still gonna say who I thought would win. I thought Paulo Costa was gonna win. More experience, more overall. Obviously, this guy's one of those Russian prospects, but I think Paulo Costa would have won. But now what I'm seeing is Paulo Costa and Hamza might finally fight in like September or something, which that would be a good fight because Paulo Costa did duck Hamza, but now it looks like he wants to fight, so I'm not really sure why this got canceled. I'm kind of disappointed it is and who's going to be the replacement, but for now, I'm not sure. Alright, next up, Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira. If I'm going to be honest, weirdly enough for me to say, I was going for Adesanya in the two fights the Alex Pereira and Adesanya fight, but I actually do like Alex Pereira a lot, and I want him to win, which is kind of weird because I do like Jan Blachowicz, but I think Jan Blachowicz wrestling and overall strength and experience in MMA is going to be too much for Alex Pereira, unless Alex Pereira catches him, which I feel like it will either be a dominant victory for Jan. I think he'll either dominate Pereira or Pereira will get a knockout, which is very, very, very likely. I could see this being one of those Izzy fights where Jan is dominating and then Pereira gets a knockout when they stand up, because every round starts standing up. I do see Jan being able to submit him, but Jan Blachowicz is not a great jiu-jitsu fighter. He's more of like a wrestler and a solid striker. But I could see Pereira getting a knockout. But for now, I'm gonna have to go with Jan Blachowicz by decision. All right, now for the main event. Wait. Also, I heard some rumors that this could be a title fight with the vacant title on the line because unfortunately Jamal Hill got an injury. But anyways, main event, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. I love both of these fighters. Obviously, they're two fighters who have been in the fight game for a very long time. Two experienced fighters. They've fought before. It was a good fight. Dustin ended up getting him out of there. But this time, I think it's going to be a little different. I think Justin Gaethje will continue to kick that leg of Poirier enough to really, I mean, he hurt him last time with the leg kicks, but now I think he's going to hurt him even more, and it's going to affect Dustin Poirier's striking. So I think Gaethje is going to get the knockout win, which I could see Poirier still win. I still think he might win, but I want to see Gaethje win, and I think he will pull it off. Alright, so that's my final predictions for UFC 291. Obviously going to be an amazing event. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and yeah, that's all I have. So